Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Baker. Welcome to the Fighting Illini Football Season Preview Show. With his first year at the helm of Illinois football in the books, Lovie Smith is excited to get year 2 underway here in Urbana-Champaign. Last season certainly had its share of ups and downs as the Illini failed to make it to a bowl game for the second consecutive season, but there was a renewed energy and excitement throughout the Illini nation as Coach Lovie Smith has brought that buzz back. Now Coach Smith and his staff are looking to take a huge step in season 2 and get Illinois football back to where it belongs, being an elite program.
And after we played our last game, it was about a lot of work to be done before the next season was here. We have some great guys here, eager to win football games, do what we ask them to do. It's a process, and you have to take steps along the way. Step 2, year 2. So we're just anxious to start going to work. We try not to do a whole lot of talking about what we're going to do and what we're going to accomplish. We just want to win tomorrow as much as anything. We want the University of Illinois to just win day after day after day, put good days on top of each other, keep shoveling that dirt. What we're going to try to do.
To say that Lovie Smith inherited a young football team in his inaugural season as the head coach at Illinois would be a vast understatement. Illinois had 28 first-time starters last season, the most in the nation, including 13 freshmen. This year's team returns only 9 seniors, making it still one of the youngest teams in the Big Ten.
We're a young ball club. We lost, 5 defensive linemen last year, 7 new defensive linemen coming in. There's a lot of young players we have. That inexperience, though, changes. You can change quickly once you get out there and you start practicing, you start teaching, start coaching, and that's what we're anxious to do.
Meanwhile, the Illini coaching staff was loaded with experience from both the NFL and the collegiate ranks. In fact, the Illini coaching staff's 56 years of NFL coaching experience was the most in college football in 2016. Coming up on the Fighting Illini Season Preview Show, we sit down with Coach Smith and get his thoughts on the upcoming season. Joining me here on our Memorial Stadium set is the man himself, Illinois head football coach Lovie Smith. Coach, good to see you. We're getting ready for the 2017 football season.
Yes.
It's about time to get back to football. One thing I noticed being here is just the calmness around your football team, the entire program, your coaching staff. Wasn't the case last year when things, like somebody said, drinking out of a fire hose. It was a little chaotic, but after a year here in Champaign, at the helm, things have calmed down. Now the focus is on winning football games, yes?
Yes, and it should be that way too, Ryan. When you're, we know the routine, but as much as anything, I think there is some calmness about what you're doing when you're confident. And our guys have been working hard. A lot has happened since that Northwestern loss. We knew we had to get back to the drawing board, to the practice field, to the weight room. We've done all that.
Tell me about the off-season, taking us up to training camp, getting ready for that September 2nd opener against Ball State. What are the biggest strides you've seen from your team in terms of their preparation to be better out here on Saturdays and a few Friday nights? Well, at least one Friday night to get in the Nebraska game.
Yeah, at least that. Well, in a few areas. I mentioned, getting stronger. We've done that. We made unbelievable gains. We weren't as strong a football team as we needed to. In all season, you can do that. A lot of the focus, of course, is on getting bigger, stronger, faster. We've done that. But just another year or two, Ryan, in the system. Coaches being able to work with the players, letting them know their roles a little bit more. We have a better feel for where everybody should play. Mm-hmm. So everything is in a totally different place, and it should be that. You should normally see the biggest games from, in a season, game 1 to game 2. Mm-hmm. And of course, we're hoping, year 1 to year 2. And you don't feel like a freshman anymore back on campus, right? I really don't. I'm pretty comfortable here in Champaign with what we need to do here, and what we need to do to start really competing better than what we've done in the past.
Finishing is the key word, and that's an area that hurt your team last year, that you get out of the gate, first quarter, second quarter, but by that fourth quarter, seemed to run out of gas. Do you see that being an issue again this year when you talk about the improved conditioning?
Yes, well, that should help it. When you train harder for longer to be able to go and play at a high level a long period of time. You know, this year, you need a mantra each year on what you want to do. And we want to be consistently good. And that means from start to finish, start fast, of course, finish strong. And again, and then a mindset too. And I'm going to go back. When you're confident and you know you prepared to be able to finish those games, we'll be able to.
A lot of your kids are getting on-the-job training. You have a very young football team, only 9 returning starters, you know, 4 on offense, 5 on defense. It's a new look, but how important is this next month going to be getting ready for the season to get them up to speed and be ready to compete when, as they say, the bullets start flying and you're really going to the battle for real?
I guess a lot of times when you have young players, that's a negative, but it can be a positive if you're bringing in a talented group, and we feel like that's the case. So for us, we are young, but the players came here for that purpose. We went out recruiting. They knew that they would get an opportunity to help us right away. And of course, they got here in June, so they know the surroundings and they're getting a taste of what college football is like. Now it's about taking this next step.
Your starting quarterback, Chayce Crouch, been a lot of conversation about him leading up to the season, not only about his ability to be your starting quarterback, but the leader of your team, the entire team, not just offense. What have you been most impressed with Chayce up to this point, you know, as he gets ready to take over the reins of leadership for the team?
Well, I think I think there is a natural leader, a guy that just has that command right away. He's undisputed leader of our football team. And you get in that role based on what you do on and off the field, whether it's in the weight room. He had to come back from an injury. He'll have to adjust his game a little bit. You know, sometimes it's best to get down, live to see another day. He can't take as many shots as he did last year, but we won't change his style of play, anything like that. And I just think what you're looking for at that position he has. Good size, speed, can throw it, and he's a football junkie.
You're getting an exceptional player back on the offensive side and receiver Mikey Dudek, but you lost some big names and some big production on defense. How do you replace that moving forward? You
replace that by, first off, it's next man up. A guy like a Adesanya hasn't played a lot. You know, he's coming off an injury. James Crawford is going into a different position. Jamal Milan, it's time for him to step up. He can be a special football player. And then we signed 7 young defensive linemen, and they seem like they're as good as advertised.
Coach, all the best in training camp heading to the season, and the future for the Illini is bright as the sun off of our bald domes, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Coach, keep your eye on the Illini, as he says. All right. Joining me now is Illini offensive coordinator Garrick McGee. Coach, I was talking to you a second ago and asked you how your summer was, but there's no rest for the weary when you're trying to get this program turned around from a 3-9 season, is it?
Yeah, that's true. You know, you got to spend some time with your wife and family, you know, and go out on the road, right? Right. You got to do that. But for the most part, I was here. You know, the rules allow you to work with your players some, have, you know, a couple hours a week of football-related activity. So I took total advantage of those rules, and I think it'll pay off, man. I'm really excited about this crew that we got coming back.
A year ago, it was just a whirlwind. You come in, you have Wes Lund as your quarterback. He couldn't stay healthy, but nor could the guy who followed him up and Chayce Crouch. He's your starter coming into 2017. How healthy is he, and how effective do you see him being as a starting quarterback with his skill set?
Yeah, you know, he's healthy now, and I really think the surgery was good for him. You know, his release and his motion throwing the ball was tight, and I have seen that surgery helped.
So you're talking about the shoulder surgery?
His shoulder surgery, yeah. I think that it really did help him.
So he's got a bionic arm now?
Well, what he is, he's more flexible. His shoulder has more extension and more snap to it, and you know, when you go to Dr. Andrews, they say you can go in there, average player, he'll send you back a great player. Right. And I think that you know, is what happened to him. And, you know, all the rehab that goes on, you know, when you're dealing with your shoulder, it's not just those big muscles that overlap, these small muscles inside that you rehab. And it just makes you a little stronger. So I think it was a really good thing for him.
With Chayce, it's as much throwing the football, but running the football. And that got him into trouble to have surgery in the first place with the shoulder injury at the Rutgers game. Yeah. But how does that help your offense and make it a little harder for the defense to predict what you're going to do?
Well, I think anytime you have a quarterback that can run for yards and sneak out, you can cover everybody, he can slip out and run for 8 or 10 yards or run from first downs. I think that adds another element to your offense that defensive coordinators have to account for. So I think it's going to be a huge advantage for us to have a quarterback that can move around. If, you know, an offensive lineman misses the block, he can escape and come out and then create a play on his own. So I think it's always an advantage when you got a dual threat quarterback. And
it's also an advantage when you got some top-notch receivers who can catch the football. You're getting Mikey Dudek back. He's been 2 years in the making for a guy who was a freshman All-American. Where is he at right now compared to, I know you weren't here his freshman year, but the production level, he put up a 1,000-yard receiver. Is he back at that level?
Well, I believe so. I mean, I think that the numbers that we have on paper, when we timed all of our guys in the 40, Mikey was the fastest guy on the team. So in regards to his ability to move and run and catch, none of that's changed.
And coming back from a torn ACL twice.
Yeah, I think he's confident. I think it's, you know, a very faith-based family, so they understand that things happen. You know, I told him when he got injured last year that I'm going to stay on him. I get on Mikey more than a lot of guys because I wanted him to always be connected to what we were doing. I never wanted him to drift away mentally. So I think he's ready to get back out there and, you know, get going. I know he's healthy. He's definitely healthy and fast and strong. We just got to get him back out there running, moving, and catching.
And the same for Tré Brown as well, who's coming back from an injury.
Yeah, Mikey's a little further along than Tré is right now. You know, so Tré still has some rehab to do. But he's got a good spirit, he's got a good attitude about it, and I think that, you know, he's moving in the right direction.
One of the bright spots for your offense is the offensive line. I believe you only allowed 12 sacks in Big Ten play. That was second best in the league. But a lot of the other offensive numbers were near that bottom third or near the bottom. How do you turn it around this year to, A, put more points on the board and keep moving those chains down the field?
Well, it starts with me and the play calls, being more aggressive and not being cautious and worried about what's going to happen and if someone is going to make a mistake because they don't really know what's going on. And so it all starts, you know, with the play calling, a lot more aggressive version of play calling.
Well, Coach, we wish you all the best and look forward to lighting up that scoreboard here at Memorial Stadium this fall. Garrick McGee. As we said earlier in the show, the Illini defense has some big names to replace, and that's this guy's job, defensive coordinator Hardy Nickerson. One of those guys was your son, who was riding shotgun with you your first year here at Illinois. A couple guys moved on to the NFL and graduation. But the thing about college football, every year you hit the reset button. How can you get this defensive unit to a level to be able to compete and challenge for the Big Ten West and win a few more games than last year?
Well, you know, we're going to work every day, come out and do the things necessary to get better. You know, I think with the group that we have coming back, everyone understands what we want to get accomplished defensively. And that being said, you know, we're looking to make some marked improvement this year. We're going to be young, but we're going to be full of energy and flying around and making it happen.
So those young legs and youthful exuberance can be a positive on defense because it's about effort and energy, right?
Absolutely.
But you got to execute as well, but you need that energy, right?
Well, absolutely. You know, with the young guys, they're going to be flying around. You know, our rule with them is, hey, 100 miles per hour, we'll coach everything up on the run, you know, so
you want it
so we want it to be fast.
Okay.
And, you know, I think we have a nice mix of veteran guys to be able to kind of settle things down when they need to be settled down and you know, make sure things are running properly for us.
You played for Coach Smith in the NFL, and you coached under him, so you understand how important takeaways are to his defense. And that's an area where you guys didn't get it done last year, of taking the football away, creating opportunities for the offense. Is that a point of emphasis going into training camp and into the season?
Takeaways are an absolute emphasis for us this year, and it's, you know, especially going in. You know, our goal has always been to have 3+ takeaways per game, and you know, we didn't quite get that accomplished last year, but we feel like the work that we put in the spring and the emphasis that we put on that throughout the whole summer and also as we head into training camp right now, of having ball awareness, knowing where the football's at, knowing when to take a shot at the ball, you know, and not waiting on the ball to kind of fall in our hands, but being more proactive and going after it when we have opportunities. And I think the guys have really bought in on that. And you could see that we've got more ball awareness. Guys are more conscious of where it's at. And when they see it, going after it. And you know, knowing how to get it out, punching it out, yanking it out.
I saw the ball on the wall in the press conference room. I mean, however, you know, strip, punch, the old peanut punch, however you got to get it out.
Punch, right? Rip, yank, however we got to get it out. But the main thing for us, you know, and as we've gone back and studied this off season as a defense, and looked across the Big Ten, across the country, you know, takeaways are huge, and that's the quickest way to change a football game. And we feel like that's an area that we definitely have been working to improve on, and we should see that fruit of all that labor.
Jalen Dunlap is one of your leaders in the secondary. Who else do you see emerging in that group, and also in your front seven up front, because that's where it all starts?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we're returning Jalen Dunlap. He's obviously he's had a great spring. He's worked hard. He's a leader on defense, along with Tré Watson. You know, at the linebacker level, returning, a guy that has a lot of experience. He's played well for us. And then up front, you know, we're going to be really young up front, but you know, as you look at the whole defense, though, everybody's going to be playing. You know, so it's on every guy on our defense to be a leader.
Tell me a young name that Fighting Illini fans need to keep a lookout for.
Well, there are a few of them. Okay. You know, up front, you know, shoot, I could go through all the young guys. You know, Bobby Roundtree, Isaiah Gay, Larry Oladipo, Owen Carney. These guys are showing you something. Deion Pate, yeah, Kendrick Green, you know, Jamal Woods, and it goes on and on up front. At the linebacker level, you know, Jake Hansen has really stepped forward this past spring and had a great spring, and we're looking for some really big things out of him at the linebacker level. In the secondary, you know, young guys, you know, Tony Adams, Nate Hobbs, Bennett Williams, and Dawson DeGrew, along with, you know, Pat Nelson and Stanley Green and Jalen Dunlap and those guys. So it's going to be pretty exciting to watch. Well, Coach, we got to take it away right now, but always a pleasure catching up, and wish you the best for your defense this season. Thank you. Thank you.
Still to come on the Fighting Illini Season Preview Show.
4 down! Red 50!
We'll take you inside the huddle with the new man under center for Illinois football.
Putting more points on the board is a focus for the Fighting Illini this year. Having their leading receiver and rusher returning will certainly help with that. Offensive coordinator Garrick McGee is anticipating big strides, especially with having a new man calling plays under center.
Money. Good shot, Jay. Face mask. Both knees. Make sure you're posing. That's like LeBron right there. No Steph Curry, straight LeBron. Oh, that was Curry right there. That's an air ball. Yeah. All right, let's rock. Go. Right on the face mask. Emily, good route, baby. Go. I needed that. You guys good? Let's go. Taxi right, 124, Patriot on Hut, center on Hut, ready. Gun, top left, Y fly, Pepper 32, W over on 1, center on 1, ready. Blaze, 39 tonight. 4 down. Red 50. Red 50 tonight. 4 down, tonight. I wish we had instant film. I came all the way across the field. Red Ace tonight! Oh. They dropped into cover 2.
Just read it like blue. Because look at Dom, they blew the coverage.
Okay.
The corner played cover 2, the safety didn't.
Man, he snagged that great one and dropped that one. Hey, head up, 8-4. 4 down, son. Hey, who is that? That's a catch, baby. Hey, 8-4. That's a catch. Fuck off that. Hey, catch, baby. That's how you come it. Hey, when you make your cut across the field, like stair step them and really plant your foot in the ground so you have more space. Red 50 set.
Relax. What happened is you committed to that one, then tried to turn back, and that don't work. Just stay straight and then pick one or the other.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't commit to any crossing.
Practices always go way too quick. I.
Well, if things go as planned this coming season for the Illini, we'll be hearing Crouch to Dudek quite a bit. We're here with the starting quarterback for the Illini, Chayce Crouch, and receiver Mike Dudek. And Mikey, you're going to be a sight for sore eyes when you're out here on the field this coming season after enduring some pretty difficult injuries with your knees the last couple of years. First of all, are you healthy? How do you feel? And just what are you feeling inside knowing that you're finally going to get an opportunity to get back on the field and show us what you did as a freshman when you were a freshman All-American?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. 16 months post-surgery the second time around, so I'm clear, I'm ready to go 100%. And now it's just, taking it day by day, trying to get better, trying to shake that rust off as soon as I can. And then, going out in the first game, I'm going to be extremely excited, ready to go and try to help our team win some games.
And it was the same knee with the torn ACL. How tough was that mentally to overcome and continue to rehab and train to get yourself back in shape to play?
Yeah, it was. So I tore the same knee twice, and it was extremely more tough the second time because after the second time I tore it, it was just a non-contact drill. So going through rehab the second time, I was always questioning it, not trusting it because I knew, the first time it just gave out on me again, even though I felt good. So it was definitely a huge mental hurdle the second time around, but I'm over it and I'm ready to go.
And Chayce, you're coming off surgery yourself on your shoulder. It was like the highs and lows of football. You come in, you make a play at Rutgers, and then you mess your shoulder up. You've been rehabbing as well, but by all accounts, you're 100% ready to go. And now this is your football team. How does that feel?
It feels great. Like Mikey, the rehab process for me was difficult mentally, but as the process went on, it got easier and easier as you go on, and you learn more about your body and how everything is now and there. And honestly, I feel the best I've ever felt on the football field post-surgery. So rehab went really well for me. I stuck to the plan the entire time, and I'm looking forward for the season. Talking to your teammates, your coaches, Coach Smith, one word continues to come up about Chayce Crouch, a leader. Is that just natural, or is that something you strive to be a leader? Because you certainly have the respect of this team, and they say that they will go where you take them. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I believe it's natural. I feel like it was the way I was raised. I've always modeled how I do things after my father and mother, and both of them are really good leaders. So I think part of it's natural, part of it was just the environment I came up in, and it feels good to have the respect of your coaches and teammates and things like that. It's a responsibility, and I feel like I owe it to them to come out here and lead and be energetic and be a spark every time I'm on the field. So I don't ever want to let them down, and hearing the kind words, it means a lot. Now you guys are like frickin' frack, joined at the hip. If I'm correct, you're roommates in the same major, and you went on a vacation together? Where'd you go on this trip? Tell me about it.
We studied abroad for 21 days. It was a class we took. It was called International Negotiations. It was one of the classes required for our marketing major. So we studied in Vienna for 21 days. We did a little tour of Europe too. We stopped at some other places. It was really cool. Neither of us have ever been to Europe. So it's definitely, a lot different than America. But it was really cool, to experience that together.
Okay, now give me the real. What did you do besides just studying? What did you guys really get into over?
Yeah, a lot of it was just sightseeing. There's so many beautiful places in Europe. It really feels like when you leave the country, it feels like you're in a different world, you know, like language barrier and things like that. And the food's different and all that stuff. So we spent the majority of our time just walking around, seeing all the sights. We had a bunch of people text us and email us places that we should go and the ins and outs of the countries we were in. So,
well, I was going to say, looking forward to seeing that connection and chemistry between you two out here on the field when the season begins in just a couple of weeks. All right, Mikey, all the best to you. Stay healthy. And Chayce, the same to you.
Thank you.
The quarterback-receiver connection here for the Illini.
Rush on 2, 1, 2, right. Yeah.
Coming up, we get defensive with Sean Adesanya and Tré Watson.
As the season progressed last year, several young players saw their playing time and production increase on the defensive side of the ball. With standouts like DeJuan Smoot and Carroll Phillips graduating to the NFL, defensive coordinator Hardy Nickerson is looking for some new faces to step up.
I'm ready to get this money, man. Let's get this money. Let's get this money, man.
Hey! It's like I'm in South Dakota.
You get old. You getting old.
Hey, the only way you gotta practice it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Boom! We came to work today. We came to work.
Yeah.
Oh, but Norman, if he knows you, if he just said, you gotta get to him quicker.
Okay.
You gotta get to him quicker.
Can I get water too? Carl, I'm gonna use the water.
Oh, hey, he's coming down with me. He's trying to rip across me. Pivoting out.
Yes, sir.
But you gotta stay on it. You can't come out and you can't go, oh, I thought it was boot. Stay on it.
Huh?
You looking at me and shit.
Yeah, I was studying. Damn, Coach Fro. That second one, man.
You felt it, right? You're just doing this.
Yeah. And I had him.
That's it back. You good? You good?
Come on, Bobby. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I see you, Dion. He was like, yeah. Let's go, Tito. Let's go, Tamir. Cross. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Yeah. Woo! Let's go, baby. Yeah. Tito, give me that boy that work. Everybody in this room is a leader, for real. If one of us lacking, the next man tell him for real.
Yes, sir.
But like Kenyon said, iron sharpens iron, right?
Yes, sir.
Rush on 2, 1, 2, right? Yeah.
We're getting defensive now with Sean Adesanya and linebacker Tré Watson. You guys are in uniform, but it won't be long before that first Saturday in September you'll be taking on Ball State. Coming off a 3-9 season, you know, how excited are you to get this thing going and prove to people that Illinois football can win some games and be competitive in the Big Ten?
Well, I mean, you know, we've been here a couple of years now, and you know, coming off of last season, we understand, you know, where we slipped up, and we saw what we could do when we put it all together. So it's just going to be about taking that next step, to get where we need to be and put it all together so we can get some wins.
And there's got to be a higher comfort level now that Coach Smith and the staff have been here for a season and you know what to expect, and it goes both ways. So now you're not trying to look over your shoulder to see if you're doing things right. You can just go play.
Yes, sir. So I mean, you understand who you're working with. You know, you're closer as people coach the player. That relationship, you know, definitely blossoms more. And also, you're comfortable in the system. You understand I'm no longer thinking when I'm on the field. I'm just playing. I don't have to wonder what my job is. I just know.
Let your instincts kick in.
And you can just play football from then on.
And Sean, I know you really got to be chomping at the bit. It's time to get busy after 2 years, some hard knocks with injuries with the shoulder and the Achilles. First of all, are you healthy? How are you feeling? And you know, how much are you looking forward to just getting back on the football field and playing in a game with the pads on?
At this current moment, I'm very healthy. I'm full go from the doctors, and I'm very thrilled to actually play my first college game come Ball State, September 2nd. And it's like having 2 injuries has been hard, but it teaches you to be patient. Like when I came back on the field, playing with Carroll and Smoot, they told me that like rushing will get you messed up on playing defense. So me going through those injuries and come back on the field, it showed me I have to like be patient, and it will all just come to you.
How'd your teammates help you get through the past couple of years? It's obviously very difficult not being able to play.
Past couple of years when Jahad was here and Smoot and Carroll, they, while I wasn't on the field practicing, they would take me to a film room and we just watch tons and tons of film, just getting reps, mental reps down.
Takeaways. I was talking to Coach Nickerson about that. We know Coach Smith preaches that. How much of that is that a focus in the locker room and what you guys have been working on in the offseason to take into 2017?
It's a huge focus, you know, and that it really comes with being comfortable in the system. When you're comfortable knowing your job and you don't have to think, you can take that next step to, all right, I'm gonna take the ball out. I know you can anticipate plays better, and you can do all those sorts of things. And we saw flashes where we were able to do it last year. You know, Stanley had some good forced fumbles, Jamal as well, and I was able to get a few. So we saw those moments, and it's just about, you know, making those moments and taking them every play, every game, and then from there you'll see plays be made.
How much does your pride kick in to want Illinois football to be respected, and when you step on the field against an opponent to know that, hey, that you're in for a ball game, we may not win, but we're going to compete, and really just elevate this program to the status that everybody wants to see it?
I mean, that's a tremendous component. I mean, you know, this is going on my 4th year here, and we haven't had a winning season yet. I mean, I think it dates back to almost 2011. So.
And there's been a lot of change, too.
There's been tremendous change, you know, and we finally feel like we got some stability going right now, and we have some guys who we're really confident in, and that's a huge part. You step on the football field every time, and you come with the aim to win. You come with the aim to dominate. So that's what we plan on doing, and we're gonna make sure we take those next steps so that we can do that, you know, week in and week out.
All right, Tré, Sean, all the best to you this season, and
Thank you.
Represent the Illini.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, young man.
Thank you.
Still to come, we sit down with 2 of the Illini's biggest offensive weapons from last season.
I'm here with receiver Malik Turner and running back Kendrick Foster. You guys counting down the moments until the season starts, but now it's time to put the work in. What's the most important thing you think this offense needs to get accomplished prior to the season opener against Ball State?
I think our consistency as a unit has to be a lot better, our discipline. I think coming off the first couple of days, I think that's what we really need to focus on and carry out throughout the rest of camp.
Kendrick, you had a breakout season last year, and you know, prior to that season, there was so many question marks about the team, about you, and you lead the team in rushing and touchdowns, and now people are expecting you to not only duplicate that, but to go above and beyond. Do you welcome that pressure?
I do. I mean, I've been the underdog all my life. Like you said, it hasn't been an easy road for me since I've been here. I mean, just having Malik Turner and Chayce Crouch and Mikey, and, you know, in the offense, it makes it easier for me and just to keep that pressure off me. And for me, I'm just ready to win. I'm not looking for numbers. I'm not looking, you know, for individual stats. I'm just going out there and helping my team win, and then at the end of the year, look at the stat book and the record book. Based upon the work you guys individually and as a team have put in the offseason, why is 2017 going to be different for Illinois football? I mean, the culture. Like I said before in previous interviews, the culture in our locker room is way different than last year. People are buying in. People love this game. We love each other. We're hanging out outside of football. We're going on camping trips together. So, I mean, we're definitely a closer group. Well, you guys are sharing a tent together? Is that what was happening? Did you go camping?
None of that, no. But I also think a lot of our guys know what's expected and they know their role. And we got guys that give us energy, guys that just lead by example. And I think it's really starting to pay off. You know, we're really comfortable around each other. And the workouts that we do every day, we attack with a different mentality, just a winner's mentality to everything that we do. That's what we're going to do. How much do both you envision being in this end zone? A big crowd here at Memorial Stadium, people going crazy, putting points on the board, and how much does that motivate you, knowing what you're capable of, but actually going out and doing it? Yeah, I mean, that's the whole part about it, just envisioning yourself making plays and helping the team win. And just for representing the team in the best way possible and winning, I mean that's going to speak for itself, just with our work ethic during camp, and like I said, just us hanging out outside of football and continuing to get in our playbook. Two playmakers, Malik Turner, Kendrick Foster, looking forward to see what they do this coming season.
Ahead on the Fighting Illini Season Preview Show, we'll take a sneak peek at the blueprint for the new football expansion project with Athletic Director Josh Whitman.
Well, you can't see it right now, but we are standing on the vision of Illinois Athletic Director Josh Whitman, the future home of the Fighting Illini Football Performance Center. So, Josh, kind of take us on a virtual tour of what this space is going to look like come the fall of 2019 for that season.
Absolutely. This has been the home, obviously, of our team to practice for decades. And I remember when I came here as a student athlete, this building didn't exist. There was a parking lot. This grass field extended another 20 yards or so to the north. What we'll continue to do is take a little bit more of this grass practice space that you'll be able to see. That way we'll have ample room for the team to still be out in the grass practicing, but it'll be a tremendous building that actually attaches to the south of the Irwin Indoor Practice Facility. So it'll be attached to that building. And what you can't see from here is that the turf that's inside that building is actually about 7 feet down. So when you come over here to these stairs, you walk down and then you walk into the turf. And so what we'll have is the building itself will be on 3 levels. The main level it'll be built all around the weight room. So the weight room will be lower. It'll be on the field level of the indoor facility. We'll have wide glass doors so that the athletes can go straight from the weight room to the turf, do a dynamic warm-up, do a conditioning, come right back into the weight room. And then you come up an internal staircase to the level that we're on here, and this will be the first floor of the new football facility. That'll have about 50-some-odd thousand square feet. That'll have all of our player spaces, the locker room, the sports medicine space, the new team lounge, the equipment room. All the spaces that our players will be using on a day-to-day basis will be on this level. And then the next level up, we'll have all the coaches' offices, the meeting rooms, the team meeting room, and all the film spaces as well.
So we're here in the northeast corner of Memorial Stadium. So it's going to look very different as you're describing this. And you mentioned when you were playing just a couple years ago.
More and more.
The Irwin Indoor Facility wasn't there. I mean, so many of the things that our athletes enjoy now, but it's a different day in college football. Why is it so important to upgrade the facilities to this point? We're talking about a $70, $80 million project.
It's a significant project. It'll be just shy of $80 million. And we've got a great building there. The Irwin Football Center was built in 1985. Wow. The challenge is it was built for a 1985 football program. And so the needs have evolved over time. We've repurposed that building as many times as we can.
Got all the toothpaste out of the tube.
Yeah, it's all out. I mean, in 1985, the total football staff was probably somewhere around 15 people. And now we have about 50 people that we employ just to coach, support the football operation. And then the training needs have changed. The way athletes are combining between strength conditioning and sports medicine. Having those two facilities be adjacent is really important. As technology has grown, the need to be sure that we have the latest and greatest in terms of video, audio is increasingly important as well. So we've gotten everything out of that building we can. It's a great space, but it's time for us to start fresh and come in and do something pretty transformative here on this facility.
And it's not only about preparing the current football players, the current student athletes, but this is going to be a pretty attractive recruiting tool for prospective high school football players who want to put on that orange and blue, and this may make the difference because you're competing with some other schools who have top-notch facilities, and it's a pretty competitive market right now, isn't it?
No question. Yeah. And I think what people may not understand is it's not. I don't think the athletes today sit down with a checklist and say, well, this school's weight room is better than this school's, but this school's locker room is better than this school. I think it's more like table stakes. This is what you have to do just to get into the game. And as long as you have a facility, it's almost a box, I think, that the recruits can check and say, yeah, their facilities are good. I can move on and consider coaching staff, the academic institution. But if you don't have it,
that's it.
You don't get to check that box. You don't get into the game in the first place. And so that, I think, is what we're trying to do here is make sure that we're demonstrating to those recruits our institution's commitment to building a successful football program. And when you combine that commitment with the great tradition that we have in football, with the academic engine that we have at the University of Illinois, I think we're showing them that this is a place where they can come and have the opportunity to truly excel not just athletically, but academically, socially, and be a part of turning this program into something special.
Won't be a reason why they won't come here, because you've got Coach Smith in place, you have his staff, and you're going to have a state-of-the-art facility that's going to be second to none. And you mentioned it's going to stretch all the way out to what gate 15 here at Memorial Stadium?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll come quite that far, but certainly somewhere right around where we're standing here, I think, is about how far it will come out. It'll be 107,000 square feet, again, on the 2 main levels, and then what we're calling kind of the mezzanine level, the weight room level, which will be...
And attached to this facility.
And it'll attach here. And one really nice feature that we've worked on, we'll actually have an access point on the 2nd floor so the coaches can walk out to a viewing platform looking down into the indoor, which will be a really nice, again, I think, recruiting space. We'll have some outdoor spaces. So players, are you listening?
The coach is going to have eyes on you. Like, I would love to say, eye on the Illini, he'll have it all the time, right?
Exactly right.
No doubt.
Exactly right.
Well, I look forward to doing this again when we put the hard hats on. Once
we
starts
absolutely.
Going up, we'll take it around.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
We will win. This is how you get it done. Well, that's going to do it for our Fighting Illini football season preview show. The season opener on September 2nd against Ball State is right around the corner. I know we're all looking forward to celebrating a few more victories for the Fighting Illini. Right now, let me take you behind the scenes at this year's training camp and show you how the squad is grinding it out and getting ready for the upcoming season. Thanks for watching. I'm Ryan Baker. Go Illini.
Oh!